More about this exhibition. Good morning, everyone. This is true that we have some analog photography and some drawn-on photography, so without film. So I wanted to compare these two ways of imaging. So as an introduction, I'd like to say that this work is also a result of fascination with a topic that I found out during this festival, that is perspective, the leitmotif, and the space and concept of Swoopford. So it was 3 years ago when I already decided to come here also after the festival and visit this in city that was invented by Michał and people who actually live here, Swoopford, which is a combination of Słubice and Frankfurt, to also have a look at the community here that lives here. So that was a gift I gave myself to get to know a new perspective, to find out about other artists and non-artists from this community, as well as migrants who are active in this place. I hope they would be inspiring for me and that this space would be inspiring for me. When I visited this city, I had this idea. I also observed several people apply during this festival. That this space seems quite empty. We don't perceive it this way because we keep walking. There are several points on our agenda, but when we walk among exhibitions, we can see that especially Frankfurt is an abandoned place. And this emptiness was this leading motive for me. This is what I wanted to record. I had this hypothesis that this emptiness is a growing emptiness. It works like a snowball. When people see emptiness, they run away from it. In our Mediterranean tradition, we are afraid of emptiness. Only creative people, only artists can be fascinated with emptiness and do something interesting within it. So I perceived and imagined that artists from Swoopford are such creative people who fill up with their ideas this emptiness. When I was taking photos, I took them as a freehand diary, so to say, where I compared two manners of registering non-camera and using camera. I used one section of photographic paper. It doesn't have original proportions here because I extended it to make it fit better this place, but the proportions of this section of paper is taken from Swoopfoot Bridge. When I got to know people active in Swoopford, I met a pioneer, so to say, a person who was the first Swoopfordian, Heinrich von Kleist, who has his monument here. He used to be, he was a poet, he lived here, and poetry is very close to my heart. And I also noticed that there is something that we have in common, this hyphen in his poetry. The hyphen, which is also a sign of emptiness, it was very important for him. This is why I started to follow the trace of Heinrich von Kleist, and I went to the place where he died, together with his beloved woman. They committed suicide by the lake. We came there with Marysia, but we came back alive. But in that place, I also took some photos. I made some registrations. Several other images that you can see here were done in Marinkishu Church. That is fascinating for me. It's also a building that has been reconstructed, rebuilt several times over centuries. It has a different function now. It's no longer a church. It's a museum. So there were several exhibitions held there as part of Labyrinth. So the change of function is quite significant, and I found it really intriguing because it's a place which has several beautiful window glasses, colored glassworks. I heard its story from Michał. And there were some other white stained glass, empty windows. So that was fascinating for me. So to conclude, all this project is story of how I got to know the story, how I recorded this place through building my own personal maps and getting to know people who live here, who create this festival and this place, and even going more beyond this official dimension. Their struggle with everyday life and reality. So I think that I'll conclude here. Thank you very much. Thank you.